What's going on, guys? I'm adruber, this is Alexander Campbellton, and today we are going to be talking about Assassin and how not to make a movie. Let's get into it. Poof! Alright guys, so this week I ended up watching 4 movies off of my list of unwatched films, so that's pretty good. We're trying to get down, trying to whittle it down. Well, I say that, we'll get into what I bought later, and you'll see that I'm not really whittling it down at all. But anyway, I ended up watching 4 movies off of my unwatched film lists, and these 2 were definitely the standouts. Alfie and Assassin. These are the highs and the lows of what I watched this week. So I watched An American Tail, Fievel Goes West. Yeah, I guess I would say for this, I enjoyed it better than the first American Tail. Is it technically a better movie? No, probably not. Not probably. It's not technically a better movie, but I think it's a more enjoyable movie. Isn't that why we watch movies? Is to be entertained, for it to be enjoyable? Anyway, I don't know. I found it more enjoyable. I found that the songs were much more palatable this time around.
Back to the girl I left behind.
So tell me you will never roam.
I swear we won't go roaming.
You'll be by your fireside.
We'll all be home sweet home. Kiss her, kiss her, kiss her.
Yeah, I found this to be an overall fairly entertaining movie. It was pretty good. Annapolis. This was big, loud, dumb, but it was fun. Again, this is another one where it's a pretty good movie. Just know what you're getting into with it, because it's not super serious. It's a bit over the top, but yeah, I found this to be pretty good as well. And then we got Alfie. This one is one that I actually found to be really, really good. I quite enjoyed this movie. And yeah, it just had, it was interesting. I thought Jude Law was particularly really, really good in this.
Me?
Just super charismatic and did a really great job with his role as Alfie in this movie. But just, I don't know, the whole story, something about this movie just really hit me. I don't think it's just a perfectly made movie or anything. There are definitely flaws with it. But something about the story and the way it was told just really hit me. And it was like, yeah. I think the best way to describe this is this too shall pass, the movie. Because you see this guy in the prime of his life getting everything he wants, and then he slowly stops. The life just starts to move on, and when he's not ready for it to. And yeah, you just see him kind of struggling to keep moving on. I don't know, it was also one of those films where I thought it was going to go on for a little bit longer. I was like, this really just needs to end now. And then it just ended. And I was like, oh. That's not a typical ending, but it's still, it left me satisfied. I don't know. I super enjoyed this movie. So yeah, give it a watch if you have the chance. I've never actually seen the original. This is a remake from a Michael Caine movie from back in the 60s, I believe. And this is early 2000s remake. But I've never seen the original, but this one I found to be really entertaining, really good. And then last, Assassin. This movie is one of the most boring movies I have ever seen. This is how not to make a movie. Like, seriously, if you want to know how not to make a movie, put this on. Just, the pacing of it was so slow, like unimaginably slow. So it's just, the pacing of it was terribly slow. But not only that, there just wasn't a whole lot of story. It sounds like a cool story, like if I read the back of it. It tells the story of a general's daughter kidnapped as a child, trained by a nun in the deadly arts, only to be sent home on a bloody mission of revenge with her once betrothed love as a target. Like, this sounds like a really cool story, and they didn't do anything with the premise of this at all. And maybe part of it is that it is a foreign language film and that you are reading subtitles, but I found that there wasn't a lot of actual dialogue in here. It was a lot of just slow and just, you know, scenery stuff that could have easily been cut out because it wasn't actually pertaining to the story at all. The other thing is, I felt like this was trying to be artsy. Like, this came out in 2015, I believe, and they went with like a letterbox format for it, like a square format, and it originally starts in black and white. At one point they do go full widescreen, but I didn't understand why, and it was just for like a brief small little bit of it, and then most of the film was in this letterbox format in color, but it was just, it felt like it was trying to be artsy, but they didn't understand exactly. They were just doing stuff that they'd seen other people do without any knowledge to why people would do it. I can't tell you how much I dislike this movie. Like, seriously. This is actually a movie, I watched it in like 10-minute segments, and then I just had to go and take a break from it. The whole time I was watching it, I was just ready for it to be over. Seriously. It's a bad movie, and I kind of want to make a longer video, like, really breaking down, doing a more long-form review of this movie, just because I think it could be a fascinating study on how not to make a movie. So I might do that at some point, but this, if you ever see it, I would just strongly recommend passing by, because it's not entertainingly bad, it's just bad. Alright, that is all the movies that I watched this week to cross off my list, but then I added, because I always, for some reason, seem to be adding movies, and this week was no exception. I have a stack here of stuff that I added. So I'm gonna run these down, and yeah, and then I think that's gonna be about it for the video. So yeah, I picked all these things up at a thrift store. First thing I picked up here was Davy Crockett, and at some point I do want to actually get footage of me inside the thrift store. I think that'd be cool. It's been kind of tricky to do thus far, but we'll see how that goes. First thing I picked up was Davy Crockett,
King of the Wild Frontier.
This is a double feature pack from Disney. Both films are on the one disc, which isn't great, but whatever. It is what it is, right? Anyway, we've got, yeah, Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, and then Davy Crockett and the River Pirates. I remember watching these when I was younger, but I don't really remember it. So yeah, I think this will be a really interesting revisit. It was pretty cool to find. I picked up here the first season of Columbo. Just one more thing, right?
One other thing.
Anyway, yeah, this is season 1. This is a 4-disc, really cool 4-disc set here. I haven't actually seen a lot of Columbo, but I'm going to be checking it out here soon, and I'll let you know what I think, right? And alongside with Columbo, I also found this Dragnet 1968. I don't know actually anything about this, but it seems to be very similar, and this is from Shout Factory. Anyway, it seems to be very similar to Columbo, to me, because it was right there beside Columbo. I think it came in with the same, and I don't know, it seemed to go hand in hand with Columbo to me, so I picked it up. Alright, here is something I'm actually really excited about, not because I'm a huge John Wayne fan. This is a 20 movie pack for John Wayne films. I haven't actually seen many John Wayne films at all, so this could be real interesting. But the reason I'm excited about this is because this is a Mill Creek set. Mill Creek has put out a lot of these just big giant movie packs, you know, 20 movies of this, 50 movies of that, you know. Mill Creek is known for putting out, this is a 4-disc set. Look at that, that's pretty cool. Anyway, Mill Creek's known for putting out these giant blocks of bunches of movies. At least that's what they used to do. They are now into more professional, I guess, titles. Anyway, I've been wanting to build up my Mill Creek collection. I've got a few. I've got like their classic cartoon stuff and a few other ones, but I've been really interested in building up my Mill Creek collection, and it was really cool to find this coming in through a thrift store there, and yeah. Picked it up, and I was honestly debating about putting these on my unwatched film list because there's so many in here, right? And not all of them, and they're gonna be real poor quality, because that's Mill Creek. It's a budget label. They're gonna be real poor quality, but I don't know. I was like, yeah, I'm in on this journey. I might as well try to watch everything.
Well, in for a penny.
So I am putting this on, which really, that skyrockets my total of unwatched films, but anyway, I'm interested to checking some of these out, and yeah, we'll see how it is. And lastly, I picked up this Gumby Volume 1 series here. It's got a little posable figure in there, which is pretty cool, and then it's a 2-disc set, and it's got just a normal kind of DVD case in there. There's this cool 2-disc set, which is pretty awesome. Anyway, I actually did pop this in, check out a couple Gumby. Like, I remember seeing some Gumby stuff a while back, but it's been a while, so I popped this in, and this is actually really good. Like, this was super fun to watch. Yeah. This is good stuff here. This is classic. I'll say that. And then I have no idea if there's a volume 2, but if there is, I would be super interested in picking that one up too, because I want to get the Gumby figure, right? There's got to be a volume 2 with Gumby. So I picked that up, and yeah, that's the last thing that I found. So that's about all I got for you guys this week. If you would please like this video, that actually helps out a lot for a small creator like myself. If you're enjoying this content, subscribe, comment below. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on some of these different movies, if you heard of them before or not. And yeah, that's about all I've got this week. See you next time, guys.